I'm Sharon and welcome back to my channel. So today is going to be quite an interesting video where I will be reacting and critiquing V's special rendition of Twinkle Twinkle Little Star. First of all, I just want to say that violin is known as being one of the most difficult instruments to learn, and it just speaks a lot to me that he's chosen to take on this huge challenge. Actually, there's going to be two videos that I'm going to be taking a look at. The first is a video sequence where he's not actually playing the violin, but he holds the violin up and looks like he's about to play it, but he's not. And the other video I'm going to look at is the one that J-Hope posted. So let's get started with the 2019 Mama video sequence. So I've got my computer here and I have my violin over there. So let's start. Okay, that was really short. All he did was put the violin up. So the first thing I'm wondering when I see this scene is whether this is like a hint to Black Swan, which they would come out with a month later. Black Swan is very orchestral and has a lot of violins in it. Let's take a look at his posture here, because that's like the only thing that I can talk about right now, considering that he doesn't play anything at all. Don't come for me. But he's obviously a beginner. He's holding his violin up at a really good height. So typically you want to hold your violin high enough where your nose is in line with your scroll. So I see that he has that there. I see that he is like a typical beginner's posture. So let's start with the left hand. So this is the standard posture that you should be at as a violinist. You want your fingers to be rounded, and you want your hand, your wrist, and your arm to be a pretty straight curve. I realize that straight curve doesn't really make sense, but it's like a smooth curve, you know? Fingers are kind of like crunched together like this when they should be more rounded. So you want to make sure that you have like a pretty open structure here. The analogy that I would use here is that you want to imagine that you're holding a ball in your left hand. So just imagine that there's a ball right here, and that's how open you want your hand to be. And I see that V's fingers are kind of collapsed like this. Now moving on to the right hand, which is the bow hand. I see that his shoulders look pretty relaxed. It's really common for beginners to move their shoulders up like this. What ends up happening usually is that people will start with a good posture, but then as they play, they start tensing up because they don't have the strength that they need to keep the violin in a good posture. And so they'll start going like this as they're playing. Let's take a look at the right hand bow position. Immediately I can tell that his bow looks a little bit tight. With the bow, you want to be able to fit your pinky in between the hair and the wood. And so that's kind of like the perfect amount of tightness that you want it to be. And I can see that his looks a bit tight. Now with the actual bow hold, he's really holding his bow more like how a cello and bass player would hold it. So with violin, this is the bow hold. You have your pinky sitting on top of the stick, and then the rest of your fingers lying kind of in a forwardly slanted fashion. With cello and bass, they hold their bow with pinky over the stick and less of a slant in the other fingers. Of course, I'm not a really good cello player and I don't play bass at all, so I am probably messing this bow hold up for them. But if anybody wants to comment on that, just leave it down below. Alright, so let's move on to the next thing, which is an actual video of him playing. I've seen this video before. I've actually not watched the whole thing. I watched the first 5 seconds on Twitter and I was like, he's so cute. So let's watch it now. So what's really adorable is that I can tell in the beginning of the video he's thinking really hard. He's thinking very carefully about how he's holding the violin and how to play the right note. But then he kind of starts just giving up in the end, which is totally relatable. I can see that he's improved a bit in this video from the 2019 Mama sequence. I'm pretty sure that this video was filmed after they filmed the Mama thing. I can see that he started to take lessons. He's at least taken 1 or 2 maybe. He's actually come some way since 2019 Mama because he can actually play the violin now and his posture is a little bit improved. I can immediately tell that his open strings are out of tune, so his A. He's a beginner, so he's not at that point right now where he knows how to tune his own instrument unless he's played other string instruments in the past. With beginners, when they go to their violin lesson, typically the teacher will tune it for them. And you know, I bet it's really hard for him to even see his teacher. I wonder if he's taking online lessons maybe. I don't really know how that works. Like, maybe if he's really learning violin in earnest, like practicing regularly, then they have a teacher come on tour with them or something. Like, I don't know how that works. I see one tape on his violin. There's like this, I believe it's a 4th finger tape right here, which is kind of an interesting choice because beginner violinists don't really learn how to use their pinky finger until a bit later, just because the pinky is the weakest finger of the hand, and you kind of want to build up your other basics, like being able to use your other 3 stronger fingers before learning how to use your pinky. I don't know, maybe he has other tapes there, but I can't see because his hand's blocking it. And I can see that that may be why he's not placing C sharp in the right place. C sharp would be the 2nd tape on the violin, but he's playing C natural. So that's the correct way, and he's playing like. Moving on. Oh man, his bow is really tight. It's even tighter than it was at Mama. So his bow is so tight that the wood here is actually bending, and that's never a good thing because if you make it too tight, then your bow could break or your horsehair could fall out. So that's a big no-no. His left hand posture looks about the same as it was at Mama. So he's doing what's called the pizza wrist. Remember I said before that you wanted your hand to look more like this? Well, it looks more like this. And so that makes it hard to press any of the notes on the fingerboard. It's a lot easier if you're just imagining that you're holding a ball in your hand. Next is his bow hand. He kind of has the same issue as he did before. It looks like his pinky is still not resting on the stick, but resting over the stick. So he's playing like this, which is not really going to give you really good control of the bow. You have a lot more control if your pinky is on the stick. So I just realized that maybe he's actually playing C sharp in the right place, but because his strings are out of tune, like his A is too low, it sounds like he's playing C natural. That could be it. That was actually really good. I mean, violin is such a hard instrument and everyone starts somewhere. So as long as he keeps working at it, as long as he's consistent with practice, he keeps taking lessons, then he'll become an amazing violinist in no time. We already know that he's like incredibly musically talented with his vocals, and I've seen clips of him playing saxophone, and he plays piano as well. Like, he already has that music theory knowledge, and he already knows how like melodic lines go and everything. So he just needs to get the technique down of playing violin, and once he can do that, he's just gonna be like a super force to be reckoned with. Like, he's gonna be an amazing violinist. I know it. We all know it. It's just a matter of time. I really hope that he keeps posting more videos of his violin playing. I would really love to see the progress that he makes and see him develop his skills and become a great violinist. I hope that maybe in my dreams he's seen a video of mine and maybe got some inspiration out of it. But yeah, that's about it. Looking forward to him posting more violin videos so that I can react to them. Alright guys, please be sure to leave a like and subscribe to my channel. I would really appreciate it. And with that, goodbye.